Next up, we have a native of the BX, bringing up J.F. Seary.
Can we get a round of applause for all of the performances that you've seen so far? Mama's Hip Hop Kitchen, Volume 5. If you like poetry, can I hear poetry? Poetry. No, I said if you like poetry, can I hear poetry? Poetry. At an early age, you learned the domestication of your sex. And though you'd relearn the term a student in history class, domesticated animals and such, you learned. You learned to love other bodies and hate your own. You learned to love misogynists and hate feminists. You became fluent in a language of violence, your body a vessel, a field to be plowed. You learned. You learned to watch dramatized rape scenes unaffected, to look past battered women and children, to look down on the weak and envy the empowered. You learned. You learned to hold grudges, grudges against other women, grudges against your mother, grudges against yourself. You learn to want what you can't have and to forgive men and forgive men and forgive men. You learn to live on hot combs, cheap hair dyes, laxatives, and fad diets, overdosing on gossip columns. You learn mass sterilization, genital mutilation, and genocide, and you still think it's someone else's problem. You learned. You learned to hate. You learned to point, place, and project that hate. You learned that there is nothing wrong with you because you are what you have been taught to be, a domesticated woman. Thank you. So I work with young people, and this is a piece that I wrote for a young sister. Dear Erica, see, I had to write you this love letter because at the time I knew that communicating would not have been the most effective way for me to share with you my point of view. See, as I sat at my desk and listened to you discuss Chris Brown's not so recent arrest for assaulting Rihanna, my heart began to pace uncontrollably. She probably came out her face, you said. She pushed him to the limit, you said. Some girls get hit, you said. And as you giggled and laughed, I knew that a move on my part could have only resulted in me coming out of my skin and be forced to break on you. So I sat back as your friends joined in. Well, girls beat on guys and guys beat on girls, they said. That's just the way it is today, they said. I know if a guy hits me, I'm hitting him back, she said. I don't hit girls, but if she come out her face, he said. And I knew that a move on my part could have only resulted in me coming out of my skin and be forced to break on you. So I cringed when your teacher shared with you another view. You old school, miss, you said. Girls don't think like that no more, you said. I know a girl who doesn't come to school when she gets hit, you said. And I knew that a move on my part could have only resulted in me coming out of my skin and be forced to break on you. So I took a step forward, then I took a step back as visions of blackened and bloody faces swirled inside my mind and childhood memories of hiding in closets, hands covering ears. I knew I loved you. I realized that I had to love you and confront the violence that you have grown so comfortable with. So I write you this letter, not in anger, but in love, because our sisters need to be loved, and our brothers need to be loved, and our children must be taught that violence will no longer be spelled L-O-V-E. Thank you.